The sun peeked over the fence, sending its first gentle rays across the quiet neighborhood. The world seemed to hold its breath for a moment, as if waiting for something magical to begin. With each passing second, the sunlight painted the backyard in golden stripes, turning the dew-kissed grass into a sparkling carpet. The garden glowed with promise, every leaf and petal catching the morning light. Mittens, a tiny tuxedo kitten with a nose for adventure, was already wide awake. His whiskers twitched with excitement as he gazed out at the world beyond his favorite sunbeam. Today, like every day, was full of possibilities. He loved the cool grass beneath his paws, the earthy scent rising from the soil, and the way the morning breeze ruffled his fur. Every blade of grass was a new discovery, every shadow a potential hiding spot. The garden buzzed with life. Mittens watched the busy bees visiting the flowers, their tiny wings humming as they darted from blossom to blossom. He was fascinated by their dance, careful not to get too close. For Mittens, every morning was a new playground, filled with endless things to chase, sniff, and explore. The world felt big and exciting, and he was determined to see it all. Today, he practiced his pounce on a stray dandelion, wiggling his tail in anticipation. With a burst of energy, he launched himself like a fluffy cannonball, sending white seeds floating into the air like tiny parachutes. Meanwhile, hidden deep in a rose bush, Pip the baby sparrow was starting his own day. The world looked enormous from his tiny perch, but curiosity sparkled in his bright eyes. Pip's feathers were still soft and downy, not yet ready for flight. He fluffed them against the morning chill, feeling both nervous and excited about what the day might bring. His hops were more enthusiastic than graceful, but each leap brought him a little further from his nest. He peeped softly, testing his voice, and marveled at the world beyond the rose leaves. Both Mittens and Pip explored the garden, each lost in their own adventures, completely unaware of the other's presence. The garden was big enough for both, or so they thought. Each was lost in their own world, curious and eager, their hearts beating with the thrill of discovery. The air was filled with the scent of flowers, and the promise of something new. But the universe had other plans. Soon, their paths would cross in the most unexpected way. Neither Mittens nor Pip could have guessed that today would be different from all the mornings before. The garden was about to host a meeting of fur and feather, setting the stage for a playful encounter that would change their morning forever. In the golden light, a new friendship was about to begin. After conquering the dandelion, Mittens began grooming himself with the utmost care, licking his soft fur and smoothing out every tuft. The morning sun warmed his back, and the gentle breeze ruffled his whiskers as he worked, completely absorbed in his little ritual. For a moment, the world was peaceful and simple, just a kitten and his thoughts. But then a sudden flicker of movement near the rose bushes caught his sharp eye, pulling him out of his reverie. Instantly, his ears swiveled forward and he froze, mid-lick, every muscle tensed in anticipation. Mittens watched, his eyes wide and unblinking as something new entered his little world. Pip, a baby sparrow with soft, downy feathers, hopped onto the grass, searching for breakfast. The tiny bird pecked at the ground, completely oblivious to the curious kitten watching from a distance. To Mittens, Pip was a brand new mystery, something small, feathery, and utterly fascinating. He had never seen a creature quite like this before, and his mind raced with questions. Instincts stirred within him, but it wasn't hunger that drove him closer. It was pure, unfiltered curiosity. He wanted to know more about this tiny visitor. Mittens lowered himself, belly pressed flat against the cool grass, moving with exaggerated care as if he were a great explorer on a secret mission. He crept forward, each step silent and deliberate, his tail twitching with excitement. The world seemed to slow down as he focused all his attention on Pip. Pip, meanwhile, continued pecking at the ground, lost in his own world of breakfast crumbs and morning dew, blissfully unaware of the feline observer nearby. The garden, usually so vast and full of life, seemed to shrink, narrowing its focus to this tiny, feathery creature and the kitten who watched him. Mittens wasn't a hunter today. He was a scientist, eager to investigate, to learn, and to understand this new friend. Every movement was careful, every breath measured. The game was afoot, or in this case, a paw. Mittens raised a gentle paw, not to strike, but to reach out, hoping to make contact with this fascinating creature. Two young explorers, each filled with wonder and curiosity, were about to discover each other for the very first time. The air was thick with anticipation. The adventure was just beginning, and in this quiet corner of the garden, a new friendship was about to bloom, one filled with gentle games, shared discoveries, and the magic of a summer morning. The stalk is pure cat mojo, a dance as old as time itself. Every feline, from the mightiest lion to the tiniest house kitten, carries this ancient instinct deep within. It's a ritual of patience, focus, and silent movement, passed down through generations. And Mittens, with his bright eyes and twitching whiskers, was a natural. Even at such a young age, he moved with surprising grace, his little paws barely making a sound on the soft earth. He crept behind a garden gnome, blending perfectly with the dappled shadows. His body hugged the ground, every muscle tensed and ready. Then, with a flick of his tail, he slinked along a terracotta pot, using every bit of cover the garden offered. Each step was careful, deliberate, as if he knew the importance of staying hidden. His tail flicked with concentration, eyes locked on Pip, the tiny bird who had become the center of his universe for this moment. Mittens's gaze was unwavering, his pupils wide with excitement. Pip, meanwhile, pecked at Clover, blissfully unaware of the drama unfolding just a few feet away. The little bird hopped and foraged, lost in his own world of green stems and tiny seeds. The garden was alive with familiar sounds, chirping birds, buzzing insects, the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. Yet, in the midst of all this life, the kitten's silent approach went completely unnoticed. Mittens paused behind a cluster of daisies, his back end wiggling in anticipation. It was the universal sign of a cat about to pounce, a playful ritual that signaled the climax of the hunt. This was the classic wind-up before the pounce, a playful ritual. Pip hopped and pecked, Mittens stalked and wiggled, both caught up in their own instincts. The garden seemed to hold its breath, waiting for what would happen next. The world shrank to just the two of them, everything else fading into the background. For a heartbeat, time stood still, and only the kitten and the bird existed in this tiny universe. The air was thick with anticipation, every second stretching out as Mittens gathered his courage. Would he leap? Would Pip notice and dart away? The outcome was uncertain, but the excitement was real. Mittens was ready to spring, his muscles coiled like a tiny spring, every fiber of his being focused on the moment. The great garden chase was about to begin. A burst of energy and movement that would send both kitten and bird racing through the grass. Two worlds, about to collide in a burst of playful energy. In this magical garden, the ancient dance of hunter and prey was about to unfold, not in malice but in the pure, joyful spirit of play. With a final wiggle, Mittens launched himself forward, not as a predator, but as a playful kitten. He landed just behind Pip, startling the little bird into a short, clumsy flight. Pip fluttered a few feet away, then turned to study his new playmate. Mittens meowed softly, inviting Pip to play. The chase became a gentle dance. Mittens pounced, Pip fluttered, both learning the rhythm. Pip never flew far, almost teasing the kitten. Mittens crouched, tail flicking, eager for another round. The game repeated: stalk, pounce, flutter, land. It wasn't predator and prey, but two babies inventing a game together. The garden became their playground. Each move was a new lesson in curiosity and trust. The dance had truly begun. Communication was everywhere. Mittens mewed and chirped, Pip answered with curious peeps. Mittens' sounds were playful, not predatory. Excited babbling, not hunting calls. Pip's chirps were soft, signaling curiosity, not fear. Their body language spoke volumes. Mittens' bouncy hops. Pip's fluttery landings. This was play aggression, a vital part of kitten development. Both signaled their intent, fun, not harm. Their conversation crossed species, built on movement and sound. Play became their shared language. Each pounce and flutter was a question and answer. They didn't need words to understand each other. The universal language of play brought them together. Why do cats chase birds? It's instinct, written in their DNA. Every cat, from house pet to lion, is a predator at heart. Quick fluttery movements trigger their prey drive. For Mittens, Pip was the ultimate moving target. The prey sequence, search, stalk, chase, pounce, is hardwired, and kittens practice it through play. Mittens wasn't hungry, He was simply following his instincts for fun. The unpredictable movement of Pip was irresistible. Play is a kitten's way of learning to be a cat. Even with a full food bowl, the urge to chase remains. Toys that mimic prey help satisfy this need safely. The garden chase was a perfect natural play session. It was instinct in action, not a life or death struggle, just a kitten being a kitten. Inside every cat is a wild spirit, the raw cat. Play connects kittens to their wild roots, teaching them vital skills. Mittens learned cause and effect, timing, and coordination. His whiskers, paws, and tail all played a role in the chase. For Pip, the game was practice too, learning to evade, to react quickly. Both were sharpening their instincts in a safe environment. The garden was their training ground. No real danger, just learning and fun. The balance made it a positive experience for both. Two young creatures, practicing what they were born to do. Their paths crossed, and both grew a little wiser. Play was their teacher. After minutes of playful chasing, the energy faded. Mittens tumbled into Clover, panting and content. He rolled onto his back, basking in the sun, signaling trust and relaxation. Pip perched nearby, calmly preening his feathers. The urgency was gone, replaced by peaceful quiet. Mittens blinked sleepily at Pip, no longer in stalk mode. The chase was over, curiosity remained. Both rested, sharing a tranquil moment in the garden. The raw cat was at peace, the kitten simply observing. This quiet was as important as the chase. Two young animals side by side recovering from their game. The garden, once a stage for their dance, became a sanctuary for rest. Play had given way to calm. As the sun climbed, a gentle truce settled over the garden. Mittens curled up for a nap. Pip flew to join his siblings. The great garden chase was over, leaving behind a memory of innocent play. What do we learn? A cat's instincts are powerful and beautiful, not aggressive. Play is a kitten's most important work, teaching confidence and coordination. Our job is to provide safe outlets for that energy. The dance between Mittens and Pip was a lesson in communication beyond words. Sometimes it's not cat versus bird, it's kitten meets bird in a game of tag. Their story is a heartwarming reminder of the universal language of play. Two young beings, a little